Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to, of course, the Sports Lovers, where we talk anything relating to sports. And in today's first video, we, of course, are going to be reacting to these ACC games that were played this past weekend, week number 2 of our ACC reaction video for you guys. However, if you are new to the channel, though, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Really quickly, before we hop into this ACC reaction video, big announcement, obviously. Tickets for the World Cup 2026 campaign have officially gone on sale in the United States. If you are going to the World Cup, go get your tickets. Tickets are officially on sale now. Cannot wait for the World Cup coming to the States next summer. I'm super excited for it as well, and I've already gotten a couple of tickets for a couple of matches here in Atlanta. So I will be going to a couple World Cup games, and I cannot wait for that as well. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below, though, so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Later today, we will have, of course, our ACC prediction video, and we will have our NFL week number 2 prediction video as well. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below, so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop right into our ACC reaction number 2. Alright, so starting us off here on Friday night, we had one game in the ACC, and it was a pretty good one, if you're asking me. It was Louisville, 2-0 now on the season, hosting James Madison. Did not watch a single bit of this game. I'm going to be real. I didn't watch the NFL game on Friday because I was at a high school football game. But Miller Moss looked really good. 1 touchdown, obviously, 161 yards, 12 of 23. Not the best stat in the world, but definitely decent enough to get you a win. Now, that ultimately allowed James Madison to compete, and that's what happened where, in the fourth quarter, Louisville started turning it on them. So, they do get the job done, though. However, rushing for Louisville was really good, 104 yards for the running back and 1 touchdown as well. They got the ball to their playmakers and ultimately showed why they are the team that won the game, and they did win that game against James Madison to improve to 2-0 on the year. Moving on to our next game, we had Miami versus Bethune-Cookman, I believe, is that college that they played. Carson Beck, obviously, Miami is now 2-0 on the year. They did beat Notre Dame last week. 2 touchdowns, 287 yards, 22 of 24. Obviously, that's what was expected of them. They probably took out Carson Beck. They probably took out a bunch of their starters there towards the end of the game, and ultimately Miami did get the job done as expected, as they are now 2-0 on the season and are definitely a threat in this ACC without Cam Ward. Yes, the defense for Miami looked really good. Antonio Kite these past couple of weeks, the Auburn transfer, looked really solid for the Miami Hurricanes, and ultimately they did get the job done at home as expected. Troy going into Clemson. This game had about a 2-hour weather delay for those curious. This game, obviously, Clemson did win, but the score did not reflect that, as Troy was up in the second half, or going into the second half, and I don't know what happened because I was at the South game on that day and was not watching a ton of it, but I checked in every now and then. Troy had the lead in the second half. They had no points scored in the second half, and ultimately, that allowed Cade Klubnik and Clemson to, of course, get the job done. Cade Klubnik in that first half struggled, dude. He only scored a field goal, the Clemson Tigers did, but the run game for Clemson picked it up in the second half is what it looks like. They got the ball to their playmakers, like the wide receivers and stuff, in that second half. I'm sure Dabo turned it on in the halftime pregame speech, because they were losing to Troy. Troy going into Clemson and almost beating them is a win for their program. They probably got paid a bunch of money too. So Troy almost upsetting Clemson would have been the upset of the week almost, but Clemson does get the job done thanks to Cade Klubnik and getting the ball to his playmakers like he was expected. Illinois versus Duke. This game, I pretty much watched from start to finish, man. This was a really good game in the first half. Duke kept it really close. It was like a 3-point game or so going into halftime. And then Duke shot themselves in the foot. Turnover after turnover there in the second half, which ultimately opened it up for Illinois and that really good offense that they have to go down the field and score. That's how you win football games right there. Duke allowed them to get back in the game, or they were allowing Illinois to put more points on the board than what they were already. That game would have been an insane game if Duke would have upset Illinois, because this week was just an insane week for upsets. However, Messiah, the quarterback, did throw for 2 touchdowns. I thought he looked really good in that first half. Like I said, in the second half, they just shot themselves in the foot, and ultimately, Illinois comes out of Duke with a win on the road against an ACC opponent that is a really good tune-up for them going into Big Ten Conference play. So we'll see if Illinois is actually legit here within the next couple of weeks, or if they are a fraud. East Texas A&M going into Florida State, man, this was about as expected. Thomas Castellanos did not play much. 8 for 11, 237 yards, 3 touchdown passes on the day. Singleton, obviously, for Florida State, had 1 touchdown on the day as well. And then, of course, Robinson for Florida State catching a couple of touchdowns on that on the day for the Florida State Seminoles. Getting the job done against East Texas A&M, obviously, is what was expected of them, as Gus Malzahn and the Seminoles are now officially 2-0 on the year. Moving on, we had Baylor going into SMU. Baylor getting the job done. Again, Auburn is now officially ranked thanks to Baylor. So, congrats. Sawyer Robertson and company did get the job done. Sawyer Robertson, again, 440 yards, 4 touchdown passes. We went over this game yesterday in our Big 12 reaction, so we're not going to hit on it a lot. I thought SMU played a really good game, but their kicker definitely cost them the game, missing 2 field goals to give them the win and to give them the lead there at the end of the game. However, Baylor does get the job done on the road, allowing the Auburn Tigers to get ranked for the first time in 4 years. So, thank you, Baylor. Y'all got the job done. Let's move on to the next one, which is NC State versus Virginia. And actually, I said it in my video, or in my prediction video, this was an ACC game. This was not an ACC game. That's right. You heard that correctly. This was a non-conference game scheduled before they did the whole conference realignment thing, which is why they were playing each other. However, it was not a conference game. Just know that. Morris, the quarterback for Virginia, had a really good game. 30 of 43, 257 yards, 1 touchdown. However, it was NC State and the defense holding Virginia to get the job done. Watched a little bit of this game. I thought NC State in the first half could have kept it a little bit more competitive, but ultimately in the second half turned it on the Jets, and that is what propelled them to get the job done, thanks to the defense. So NC State gets the win at home against Virginia in a non-ACC game. Let's clear that up right there and right now. Next up, we had Central Michigan going into Pittsburgh. This was as expected. Pittsburgh getting the job done. Not going to talk about this game for a while. 304 yards, 4 touchdown passer. Did, of course, Hildstein. That's expected, right? Pittsburgh getting the job done at home against Central Michigan. UConn going into Syracuse and almost beating Syracuse. When I saw this, I was like, what the actual heck happened? And obviously, Syracuse did get the job done. Thanks to their offense, they finally picked it up. They finally got it going there in the second half and in overtime to win the game. UConn played a heck of a game. They are 1-1 now. I think I picked Syracuse to win this game, so when I was seeing that, I was a little bit scared from my pick'em league. But Syracuse did get the job done at home against UConn in overtime regardless. Gardner Webb going into Georgia Tech. Haynes King did not play in this game for Georgia Tech. I believe he is injured right now, but Georgia Tech does go on 2-0 on the year. They're going to be a threat in the ACC regardless as they get the job done at home. Wake Forest, Western Carolina, Western Carolina getting the job done, 2-0. Robbie Ashford looked really good, 1 touchdown pass, 227 yards, 12 of 22. Not a bad day at the office for the former Auburn quarterback, as Robbie Ashford does get the job done. Cal, Texas Southern, California getting the job done as expected. Brian Harsin hate watch is on, but California does improve to 2-0 on the year. North Carolina going into Charlotte. North Carolina, Bill Belichick bouncing back after that loss. I believe Gio Lopez did play. He had a touchdown pass in there, 165 yards or so. 17 of 25, not terrible for him. But he's got to get more adapted to the Power 4 level. Gio Lopez last year, the South Alabama transfer quarterback, obviously coming in, winning the starting job He just has to get more adapted to that power forward level, and he will be a baller. It'll take some time, but Gio Lopez and Bill Belichick and company will eventually get there, as they do get the job done. Vanderbilt going into Virginia Tech. We're going to save that reaction for our SEC reaction video on Friday, so stay tuned for that one. Boston College, Michigan State. Did watch the end of this game. An absolute banger. I knew this one would be. Boston College 1-0 or 1-0. Michigan State was 1-0 as well, as Boston College does fall to Michigan State. I thought the offense for Michigan State looked really good, especially in that second half, and that was the half that they needed it to look really good, and ultimately they did get the job done. It was the defense, though, in double overtime to hold Boston College from scoring that extra 2-point conversion, and Michigan State getting the job done. Stanford, BYU, again, we already reacted to that one, so that is where I'm going to leave it for these ACC reactions. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Again, ACC predictions coming right up, so stay tuned for that. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.